So in this little video we're going to talk about how to prepare the images. Now as you can see, the images are all very large and all the images are first imported to be the maximum size they can be for the resolution, so that you can see this image here, this colour image, it can be as big as this, but obviously you can tell me to make it a lot smaller. But in this particular image here, the file hasn't been prepared properly, and let's zoom in a little bit and have a look. So as you can see, there seems to be a border at the top right and there seems to be one missing at the bottom. May or may not be the case, but the real problem is that this border, and the reason why it does look a bit funny, is that, here we go, here's the border at the bottom, it needs to be resized. But this is a Photoshop border, which looks perfectly okay really. The problem with the Photoshop border is that the width of the border, of course, is determined by the size of the picture. So if I now make the picture half the size, let's say 75, then of course the border is going to be now thinner. Not necessarily what we want to do. So what we need to do is, let's make it a little bit bigger now. What we need to do is go into Photoshop and fix this, which is a bit annoying, but you know, this is what we're going to do because the image wasn't prepared correctly. And in fact, not only was it prepared correctly, there's a bit of white at the bottom here. So what really should have been done is there should have been no border in Photoshop whatsoever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to try and cut this up a little bit and make it the exact size. So all images should really come in like this. As you can see, we've cut it perfectly to the edge of the image. There's no extra space here. Now, if I want to add a border, let's say I do want to add a border in this particular image, then the way to do it is to add some space around. So how do we do that? So we can actually go into canvas size. And there's an option here called relative, okay, and we can say, right, let's add 5mm around the edge, okay, we're going to add 5mm, and now we've added 5mm, let's say that we want to have a border here. So I'm now going to add that extra border. So first I trimmed the image, and then I added 5mm around, okay. So now I'm going to re-import, that image has now been re-imported, and now in InDesign I can add a border. And when you add a border in InDesign, now it's a 5mm border. So if I bring the stroke value across here so we can see what the stroke is, just one moment. Here is the stroke, it's 0.5 of a millimeter. And then even if I make this image with its caption a lot smaller, let's say I make it 77, it's approximately the width of the, of course I did that completely incorrectly, I should have done that along with the caption, of course, sorry, my apologies. So make the width, it's moved around a bit, here we go. That border, that stroke value is still 0.5, so it's very important for images to make sure that it is trimmed. Now, as it happened in this particular image, I'm not really interested I don't want a border at all, okay, so I'm actually just going to go in here, I'm going to trim it, and notice how trimming is very fast to do in this particular situation because we added 5mm of white, and now I'm going to go in, change the style to have no frame, and then I'm just going to resize everything so it's correct. And I'm going to make it about 150. So a little video of why it is important to make sure that everything is done correctly in terms of making sure that the image is perfectly trimmed and giving us full flexibility. Now you see here again, this particular image on this next page has no, I don't want a border, so I'm getting rid of it, but now you see what's happened is, but now I've got all this extra white space. So now I have to manually go into Photoshop. It slows the whole process down dramatically, and I now have to trim the image to be exactly what I want it to be. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for watching. In our next video, we're going to teach you how to mark up the PDF so that you can say what size you actually want these pictures to be, so we can resize them according to what they need to be. Thank you very much.